Hey guys, it's Ty here. Happy Saturday. Thank you for joining me. It is episode 11 of our weekend watch talk. Let's do a wristwatch check before we get started. Got my Speedmaster Professional back on the Hodinkee strap. Just loving this look and this watch. So, what will we talk about today? I want to talk about buying luxury watches, and specifically, I'm going to share two sort of tips that I use to buy luxury watches. I have done a weekend watch talk that talks about one of these tips, but we're going to kind of combine them, and I'm going to use my Rolex GMT Master 16700 as an example here. So, tip number one is going to be to allocate a certain amount of money every paycheck or every month to your watch fund. Now, I have two savings accounts for watches. One of them is sort of a long-term account. One of them is a little bit short-term, but to be honest, they both sort of go to the same watch. So when I was saving for this watch, which took me about 6 months to save for a down payment on the watch, meaning like I put some cash down, and then as you guys know, I have no issue using 0% APR credit card. So I actually used one for this watch, and I think it was something like 15 months. This is all paid off by now. But I did happily do that as well. So allocating, I don't know, 5 to 10% of your income, whatever you're comfortable with. We all have our bills and our daily expenses. So I do about 5 to 7% every paycheck, and I put it aside, and I don't touch that money. So that's going to be tip number one. Tip number two is very simple, actually. It's just to not only do the research, but also to really be patient with what we want, to be really specific. So when I was looking for this watch, at some point I had a few $1,000s aside that I could have bought, let's say, a Tudor GMT or a Breitling or other watches that I like that I was looking at, a Longines. And I held back. I said, you know what? Don't spend the money because you have a goal, you have a direction. So being patient is so important, especially in this sort of addictive hobby. So, that was one part of it. The other part was I did my research. I looked for a few months. I looked at the Coke bezel 16710. I looked at the GMT Master 2s like this, but the 16710s, the later ones. I looked at the all black bezel vintage ones. So, but this is what I wanted. I knew I wanted a Pepsi. I just didn't know how it would, kind of come to my life. And so I would say, not touching that money, of course, unless you want to. But if you have a goal, really stick to that goal. And as you guys know, I'm sure once you get that, once you get that watch, you obtain the watch that you wanted. There's no feeling like it. And then, of course, it can stay in the collection forever, and you can pass it on to your kids or your nieces or nephews or whatever feels good. So those are my two tips, allocating a certain amount of money and being really consistent with that. And then, of course, like I said, being patient and really doing the research, because that's part of the fun, at least it is for me. So anyway, guys, let me know what you think. What is your process of saving up for a watch? How do you do it? Do you go? Are you a lot quicker about it, or do you take even longer time, a couple of years? I have a good friend who I've mentioned who lives out in Utah as a watch collector, and he buys pretty much one luxury watch a year, and he'll save and research and do everything for an entire year, and then get the watch that he really, really loves. So let me know what you think, guys. Have an awesome day. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it, and I will talk to you soon.